So we're going to do the 3-minute breathing space now. So the 3-minute breathing space is one of the most useful practices that there are. It is quick, it is simple, and you can do it anywhere. And it only takes 3 minutes. That's the best part of it. And it will change how you feel. And so if you're safe to do so, closing down your eyes. And then taking an opportunity to turn inwards and connect in with your breath. And just noticing your in-breath and your out-breath. And then taking your thumb and index finger of one hand and joining it together. And then taking a nice, long, gentle but deep in-breath. And then releasing a slow, steady out-breath. And then moving the thumb along to the middle finger on that same hand. And again, taking another nice, long, deep breath in. And a slow, steady breath out. And then moving that thumb along to the next finger, the ring finger. So joining the thumb and the ring finger and taking another round of breath. Remembering there's no rush. And then moving the thumb along to your small finger. And again, breathing in. And breathing out. And then moving your thumb over to the next, or moving on your next hand, the thumb and the small finger, joining that together and taking another round of breath. And then moving the thumb to the ring finger on that second hand. You might notice your body starting to soften and your breath able to go a little deeper. And then we're moving the thumb along to the middle finger on that second hand, and again, repeating that breath cycle. And then moving that thumb along to the index finger on that second hand, and again, feeling that in-breath. And feeling that out-breath. I'm going to start moving back in the opposite direction. So thumb and the middle finger of that second hand, and again taking another round of nice, long, deep breath. And then moving the thumb to the ring finger and doing that again. And just continuing moving back through those fingers. Remembering there's no rush. It will take less than 3 minutes. You won't miss out on anything. And then back to that first hand, moving through those fingers. And just really feeling into that breath. Feeling how your in-breath is feeling. And feeling how an out-breath feels. And as you continue to move back through each of those fingers, just allowing yourself to be with that breath, riding those waves. And then when you get back to the beginning, just pausing for a moment and checking in with how you're feeling. And then whenever you're ready, you can start to wiggle your fingers and toes and opening up your eyes. And so that's probably one of the easiest ways that you can shift out of a stress response and move yourself into that relaxation response. And another added benefit, if you've done any studies with the Vedas, you might notice, or the yogic studies, they do different mudras. They do mudras with the fingers, and each of the elements actually coincides with each of the fingers as well. So you're actually working with the elements and the other energy systems in the body while you're doing that. But basically the idea of doing this is to keep your awareness on what you're doing. Because, you know, if you've ever tried to just sit and breathe, it's not that easy to stay focused on the breath for a couple of minutes. And so by actually doing this, it keeps you with your breath. And then as you're staying with your breath, it stops all of the mind going la, 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 because it's, in fact, it's not situations that make us stress, it's the way we think about it. So it's all that la, 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 la that goes on in the mind that actually causes that stress response to continue. And so as we work with breath practices, it helps us to stop that, the mind chatter, because while we're actually connected to the breath, it's not possible to be thinking about other things. So even as we're feeling into that expansion of the breath and that relaxing of the breath, you can't actually do that at the same time as your mind going off on tangents as well. And so, you know, there's on multiple layers, working with the breath can be really beneficial. So we also get the added bonus of working with the vagus nerve as well, that we'll talk more about, and how that counteracts the stress response. And then it also, when we're looking at the Vedas, the traditions, when you breathe, that life force is the prana. So that prana breath is the inward and upward direction of that breath. So as we're breathing in, we're actually activating our life force in that way too. And so the breath is such an indispensable part of life, really, isn't it? All right, I'll just pause this recording.